If the fall from the bed had just happened recently, the fracture would have looked fresh on the X-ray, but the bone had already begun healing, which meant the injury had been there for more than a week before anyone sought medical attention. Anyone who has ever seen a child suffer a broken arm understands how serious that detail was. A fracture is not a minor scrape or a bruise that can go unnoticed. Children with broken bones are usually in intense pain, and the discomfort tends to make itself obvious very quickly. So the idea that the injury had existed for around 10 days immediately raised an uncomfortable question. If the fracture had been there that long, how had no one noticed earlier? Despite the concern, the hospital staff focused first on treating the injury. The child's arm was stabilized with a splint to protect the fracture, and Susan was given instructions to return for a follow-up appointment, so the arm could eventually be placed in a cast once the swelling reduced. During that visit, medical staff also asked Susan if she knew of any other fall or accident that might have happened earlier, something that could explain how the fracture had actually occurred. But Susan said she did not know of anything else that could have caused it. According to her account, the only incident she was aware of was the fall from the bed. However, when she was pressed about the timeline, she began explaining that the children had recently spent time visiting their father's side of the family. She said the girls had stayed with their father, Timothy Hale, who was her former husband, and she explained that Timothy lived with his parents, Chris Hale and Roxanne Hale. Susan told investigators that the children had visited Timothy and his parents over a weekend, and according to her description, everything during that visit seemed normal. She said the girls appeared healthy, happy, and in good spirits at the time. But when the issue of the older fracture came up, Susan suggested that if the injury had happened earlier than she believed, it might have occurred while the children were staying at Timothy's house. She explained that she trusted Chris and Roxanne to take care of the children while they were there, and she believed they would have told her if the girls had been hurt during the visit. However, Susan also acknowledged something else about Timothy that added another layer of complexity to the situation. She admitted that Timothy had struggled with substance abuse and had a history of violent behavior, and she revealed that she had previously gone to court to seek a DV injunction against him. That detail painted a troubling picture of the relationship between the two adults. Yet even with that history, Susan insisted that she had never personally seen Timothy mistreat the children. She said she had allowed the visits to continue because, in her experience, Timothy had not been abusive toward the girls. According to Susan's version of events, after the weekend visit ended, she met Roxanne to pick the children up and bring them home. She said the girls returned to her house, took a bath, and then went to bed like they normally would after a long day. On the surface, the routine sounded ordinary. But the unexplained fracture remained a problem, and as the investigation continued to unfold, that unanswered question would become one of the earliest warning signs that something much more serious might have been happening behind